Starting our podcast in 30 seconds. Post any questions about Amazon in the chat. Welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. Check a look at this mug here. Look at that guy. He looks a little tired, doesn't he? We have some exciting things that developed really just right before we went live today. I just got off the phone with a nice gentleman by the name of Stan. He posted in the comment section on our video about the indexing problem. Guys, I found a solution. So Stan gets in touch with me, starts talking to me about this problem. I think he nailed it. I think we figured it out. So in this video, I talk about a search algorithm update that's been festering and going into detail about all the challenges with people losing indexing and rankings. And lo and behold, I believe the solution is exactly what Stan nailed in our phone call. So I've listed out what we believe is the solution. Go into export your category listings report. I have a full video where I explain how to do all of this. I'll post the video demo right here in the chat. And you're going to export your category listing reports. You're going to look at column A. And I will see if I can bring up one of these, for example. So in this listing report here, in the feed product type section A, if this is incorrectly misclassified, there is your problem right there. And in the case of Stan, he sold a phone case and it was being misclassified as a phone holster, if you will, like almost like it goes on, your belt, right? And so his indexing immediately suffered from this problem. He put in the fix a couple of days ago, and he's seeing recovery. So I think that's the actual issue. So very excited to reveal that first things first on our Friday podcast. My name is Stephen Pope. I am the founder of My Amazon Guy. I am rocking a new hat today. God bless my wife, Emily. She gave me a happy birthday present yesterday and gave me some new hats. I got two of them. I got two hats, guys. Check that out. I think I like the one I'm wearing more better. You can see on the back here, it's got like that nice little leather slatch, but, so I'm rocking it. I've got the mag swag. I think I have 4 logos up right now. Holy crap. I got one in the corner here. I got the hat, got the t-shirt and the sign. I got to point behind. Okay. I can't point the right way. Let's see. My father's a weatherman. He knows how to do green screen, chroma keys and knows how to point behind him correctly. I never picked up that skill. Maybe a little Italian blood in the genetics, though, might not help. May not be too bad to pull off a stunt like that. Special call out and thank you to our intern Sierra. She just finished her internship with My Amazon Guy. She was with us for 3 months. I did not have a way to say goodbye to her last week because we didn't have a podcast on Friday. I took my boys camping instead, which was great. Speed out the Memorial Day rush. For those that are curious on baby watch, we do not have our 4th kid has not popped out yet, but the wife is just waiting in pre-labor contractions for days now. Very, very uncomfortable. So hopefully, she'll just come up to me right in the middle of the podcast and tell me her water broke, and I'll just say, see ya. That would be fantastic news for me today. All right, so we're going to dive into questions. Because I do not have a behind-the-scenes assistant, this is a little rough to dive into the sheer volume of questions, but I got to tell you, feel really good after talking to Stan on the phone right before this podcast. He told me my name was a household name in the Amazon seller community, and it just made me blush. So thank you for that endorsement, Stan. So if you're not a member of our community, feel free to, subscribe or join our channel. You just got to go to youtube.com/myamazonguy and click that join button. I will be prioritizing questions from members and going to their questions first. Because I'm doing that, when I go back through the rest of the questions, I may not hit them or may miss one of yours. I also have some censorship set up to avoid the robots. So if you hit one of those nice keywords or you post a URL, your comment will not show up. So feel free to keep that in mind. If I don't pick up your question, re-ask it. I will try my best to get to it. We already have about 30 questions in queue. So without further ado, I will dive right in. Our first question comes from Daniel. Hi, Stephen. How Amazon calculates the outbound shipping weight for a foldable item when package is sent to FBA are not assembled, but product announce and product specs are showing assembled. So there are multiple fields within Seller Central, and you can edit a lot of these different fields. I'm going to actually pull up my Seller Central here and demonstrate the answer to this question. Let's go full screen here. All right. So in here, if we go to the more detail section, I'm just going to do Control F. I'm on a PC here. Might be Command F if you're on a Mac. I'm just going to type in dimension. So in here, you can see all kinds of dimensions. You got item dimensions, display dimensions, and package dimensions. So in your case, Daniel, the package dimensions is the important attribute. This is what's going to showcase how big is the box you are shipping this out in. And if you accidentally make the most common mistake in FBA shipments, which is to put your case shipment into your package dimensions fields, you will notice that your cost of shipping your stuff out is a lot more expensive than you're anticipating. This step is messed up during the first time shipment process because Amazon asks the question, what is the size of your package? And what they really mean is the units. But what everybody assumes they means is the case. So if you got a package case of 12 units in your box and you put that dimension in, you will be charged as if you were shipping out that case when you ship out the product. So Daniel, I'm pretty certain this answers your question. In here, you can use different dimension sizing, item dimensions, display dimensions, but the package dimensions, this is the unit package that goes out of FBA and is the critical one to get correct. All of these other ones are almost inconsequential and have no weight bearing. There you go. Dimension weight bearing. All right. So that's Daniel's question. Let's go to the QC. If any other members have, we got Brady with a super sticker. I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what a super sticker is, but I don't know if you just gave me $2 or not. So cool. Thank you for that. All right. Daniel also asked, is it a good idea to ask a USA 3P to print labels on your product on the same day that you will create Amazon listings and send products to Amazon, or only suppress product lists to keep the honeymoon period? So in my opinion, we've seen a lot of experts go out and say that the time of which you create your listing and then go to market can help your honeymoon period. However, most of us are not able to pull off that because we're shipping out of China. You need the FN SKU labels, and there's a lot of logistics conveniences. And speaking of shipping conveniences, holy crap, I just got a quote for a container, $23,000 to ship a container out of China. Cost me $3,500 2 years ago. What is going on with these container costs? Like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe how much it costs to ship out of China right now. Word on the street is the Australians, those crazy Aussies down there, are hoarding containers. It's probably not really the actual problem. It's probably just a symptom. The real problem is containers are not making it back to China because nobody wants to go to China right now. So there's probably, I have no idea, complete speculation. Just think of me as the taxi driver of Amazon, right? I get it. I get a couple of passengers coming to the same location and I draw some extrapolations and conclusions, but wouldn't surprise me to know for sure though, that the LA ports are just stacked with containers and nobody's shipping them back because there's no money to ship them back. Well, now hopefully capitalism will self-correct this issue because $23,000 to ship a container out of China right now, nobody wants to do that. I might as well buy a freight company at this stage. It's pretty crazy right now. So Daniel, to answer your question, absolutely would go ahead and do it like you normally do it. But here's the thing. Inside of Amazon, there's a field for launch dates. So this is an item that I literally just launched 2 days ago, and I put a 6/2 launch date in there. I used to have 6/15 because I wasn't sure when Amazon was going to check my item in. This was a complete test product. And this particular product is just a simple 2 tumbler package kits, right? Really nice kit. And I've already had 8 unit sales with literally 1 advertising campaign created with 0 product reviews. And I'm already stocking out because I only shipped 24 in. So it is possible to do 2 things here. Number 1, you can set a launch dates and I would also set the release date to the same date. And this will make it so your listing does not go live before you're ready. waiting for your FBA inventory to check in fully, not just have inventory be like, hey, I'll ship this out in 7 days from now. So that is point number one. Point number two, you can absolutely launch products without having Vine reviews or having product reviews at all. I've just done it twice in the last 30 days. My Age of Sage product, which I have here, this is the Mother's Day kit. We launched this product with a single product review, sold over $135,000 in 3 weeks. And obviously my post Mother's Day sales are significantly less, but still doing pretty well for myself, and I'm happy with the results. So now we've got 42 reviews, and I've done no review generation strategy. These are all pure organic. My first 1-star review came in from somebody who has left 20 1-star reviews in the last 2 weeks. And God bless their soul, because I'm sure they are in need of some love in their life. So can't please every customer ever, but the guy that leaves 21-star reviews is a little suspicious, right? Like a little SUS going on there. Suspicious. Don't know what they're up to. All right, so let's look at the list here, see if we got any other member questions. Going to prioritize those. We do. We got Mohammed. Thanks for being a member. Hi, when I use H10 LDX checker, I see that my product is indexed for all of the targeted keywords, but inside of H10 Cerebra with my ASIN organic indexed keywords are very low. Why is this? Thanks, not selling yet. So first of all, if you're not selling, the indexing shouldn't even matter. You need to have sales to get the indexing going. So once the item is live and has active sales, that should be self-correcting. I really don't have any concerns on that one at all. All right, so scrolling up just to see. All right, I think we can go. We got SC Trojan Ballers, got a bunch here. We'll go there. So I can only sell in the US and have brand registry pending trademark. I just found out my product is listed in Canada with double the price. How do I get rid of that hijacker? Can I list it in Canada myself, report through the USBR? So this is a great question. I have a video that goes in depth on this. And we also sell Canadian trademarks, which are the answer to this question. So if you go over to my website, go over to services, trademark, go to Canada. We created this service after testing this on Momster. So I have a video where I go in depth about what happened. So if you need SC Trojan, what I recommend you do is you buy a Canadian trademark, and then you can immediately start reporting those hijackers. So the 10 customers that have purchased this from me, 9 of them within the same day could immediately get the hijackers removed. We might even have something, let's see. I think we had one person that got it down in like 1 hour. So in any case, I don't see that particular review right there. Maybe it's lower down on the page, but one customer, we literally filed their Canadian trademark, and within the hour, oh yeah, here it is. This came in from Anthony. So this was mind-boggling speed. 7:25 p.m. Eastern, placed order with MAG for Canadian trademark. 8:43 p.m. received filing serial number. So less than, about 2 hours. Full instructions for the Canadian hijacker removal. 8:52 opened infringement case. And within 8:54, hijacker successfully removed. So this is a kind of a big deal. So if you're really concerned about Canadian hijackers, buy a Canadian trademark from us and watch this video that we did. It's not that video. I probably need to post the video on to the channel. Let's go in here and see if I can just type in Canada, see what comes up here. Here we go. This is the one. So Canadian hijacker trademarks. I'll post this in the video for you. So SC Trojan, watch the Canadian hijacker video just for you. We made this off of pure demand. A lot of my a la carte services are basically when somebody asks me a question that I don't know the answer to, and then 3 more people ask me that, and I'm like, there's something there. We should go figure this out and fix the problem. So brand name changes, trademarks, those are all a la carte services that we offer to the community because we've had so many challenges, and a lot of people are having issues like that. All right, so SC Trojan also asks, do you use any software for tracking profit? So for me personally on my brand, I don't. I'm not actually in the game of trying to make profit, so I literally don't care how much profit I'm making. On my brands, Momster, Age of Sage, I do make a profit, and it's significant. I'm making at least $250,000 a year off of them, but I literally don't care if I'm making $200,000 or $400,000. It wouldn't make a difference on any of my decision making. For our clients, we do tend to push them into Helium 10 because the keyword component tools inside of Helium 10 are unparalleled. There are many profit tracking softwares out there. We've tested Seller Legend, I think. There's another, maybe Profitero. Those are all fine. The question is like, what kind of data set do you need? What kind of dashboard do you need? And so if you're looking for something that is dedicated to solve a very specific problem, or your profit tracking, then maybe you need a profit tracking software dedicated to that question. But if you just are generally curious and wondering, okay, at a SKU basis, I've spent X number of dollars on this ad and my COGS and everything else, and you just need to know some directional stuff, then a basic tool like Helium 10 that's not dedicated to profit tracking, but has that as an add-on is probably going to fit the bill for you, have everything in one place. Kind of nice to have that. Your software stack doesn't need to be analyzed every probably 3 to 6 months, depending on how sophisticated you are, and you do want to add new software. So for example, we had the, yesterday on the podcast, we had the owner, founder of Seller Elite. I literally had never heard of his software before he came on the podcast. I had gone, he was also the CEO of $1 Million Sellers Club, and I was a podcast guest with them, and they're like the most famous mastermind for $1 Million sellers. And so he also owns Rebate Key, which we had used about 10 times. And so there are new software tools that are coming out that have been around that just don't have as much trajectory, like Jungle Scout or Helium 10, and many, many more are coming out. So definitely want to look at your software stack on that. And then last question from SC Trojan. I have one exact campaign with one keyword giving me good conversion. However, it is not getting enough impressions compared to the other 5 keywords in the campaign. I've increased it, bids, but impressions not up. This is a common problem. We see this all the time. What I recommend you do is create a dedicated campaign with that keyword in question. Add that keyword to the copy of your listing, maybe even the title if you can justify it, definitely the bullet points in the description, and in the search term field. This may not solve your problem, but it's the most common issue where Amazon doesn't think that your product is relevant for that keyword, and it thinks the other keywords in the campaign are more relevant. So it makes a lot of sense for you to go ahead and dedicate some campaign structure to that. All right, so scrolling down here, we got Imi, also a member question. How do you optimize the backend keywords of a product with a single ASIN but multiple SKUs, FBA, Seller Fulfilled Prime? Does the search terms need to be the same for all ASINs? It does not. However, I recommend that you go ahead and keep the same ASIN, have the same search terms. And generally speaking, I would keep the FBA listing as where my data hub exists and store everything there. And then put in the other ASINs could be blank. The other SKUs on the same ASIN could be blank, or you could duplicate it over. It doesn't really matter as far as I can tell. As long as you have one provider of said information, the other SKUs shouldn't matter as much, or if at all. So nothing to do with there. Now, another common question I get is, should I have variations in the parentage be the same or different with search terms? There's not a lot of data sets on this question. And so I generally do recommend to have some differentiation between child variations with different ASINs in the same parentage, have some dedicated track search terms. But it's not necessarily critical because the parentage shares the same keyword rankings. They don't house it at the parent level. They still house at the individual child ASINs. So if you break the parentage, you'll notice that you then get multiple keywords ranking for the same products. But generally speaking, parentage is favorable, combines reviews in some select categories, though we're seeing that Amazon is no longer doing that. We got a nice angry face. Not sure if the angry face is bad results for my commentary today, or they're angry about everything at Amazon, but thank you for the angry face on Facebook there. Long story short, keywords can be massively impactful for your sales. We have a lot of SEO playlists. You want to check out our SEO playlist for all things keywords. Next question coming from another member of our channel, Scuda says, hello, UPS lost 16 units in transit from a forwarder warehouse to Amazon. They keep giving me the robot reply, but do not reimburse me. What to do? My refund guy do not see this. So I'm not sure if you are using our service, My Refund Guy. If you're not, definitely get it checked out. So My Refund Guy, first $500 on the house, commission-based service, all automated. We're really good at finding lost and damaged units, refunds, lost inbound shipments. If we missed this for you, though, Scuda, send me an email. You can email I'm trying to remember what the email address is for this. It's at myrefundguy.com. Why don't we do Gina? Gina is our head person for My Refund Guy. So if you have any refund questions, send it to Gina at myrefundguy.com. And I'm going to confirm her spelling here before I post that in the chat, just to make sure I've got that correct. But I believe I do. It's either G-I. It is G-I. Yes. Okay. So I just want to make sure I type that in right. So any refund questions, send them over to Gina. She can help you out or get you set up with My Refund Guy if you haven't used that before. All right. Imea also says, can I put keywords such as the sale and prime in search terms? What about new? The product is a laptop. I actually don't understand this question quite well, but I can tell you don't use the term prime in your search terms. Don't put sales vernacular nomenclature into the search terms either. Those won't matter at all. They won't help you. What you do want to do, though, is go look up 10 or 11 of your competitors and aggregate the keywords of the item and look at what most of those products are ranking for and focus on those. Use a tool like Helium 10's Cerebro to pull those 10 ASINs, push it into Frankenstein, and then decide what the most valuable keywords are. Very, very, very helpful. If a client has a lot of existing campaigns, do you restructure them or create new campaigns? Fantastic question. This is a PPC advertising question. The answer is both. It really depends. We've seen, if we onboard a client who's using an AI software like Quartile and there's like 1,000 campaigns, that's very structurally difficult to take over 1,000 campaigns. Sometimes we'll do a lot of rebuild. But if we take over somebody who's got like 10 campaigns total on the account, chances are a lot of those campaigns have been up for 6, 12 months and have thousands of dollars in history. We're going to co-opt those campaigns. We're going to create lots of new ones 100% of the time whenever we manage ads for a client. But if you're wondering like what you should be doing, whether you hire My Amazon Guy, use an AI software, have your in-house team, doesn't matter. If you're transitioning between one of those to another, you will see some hiccups. The first 30 days of changing your PPC strategy, you absolutely are going to see probably higher A costs. You might see higher revenue growth, but you'll probably see higher A costs. We do have a lot of exceptions to that on my success stories page. We have about, coming up on about 100 video testimonials now. It's getting pretty cool, where we have a lot of different use cases that we talk about. So many testimonials, it takes a while for all of them to load. But like sometimes we'll onboard a client and then within, 1 month, we're tripling their revenue and their ACOS is looking better, right? So like they were doing 85% ACOS, we get them down to 38%, triple the revenue. Like this is like ideal scenarios, right? Doesn't happen for everybody. We don't promise revenue growth when somebody hires us in writing, but obviously if we don't grow their sales, they're going to fire us. And that's where we hang our hat, so to speak. So we absolutely try and grow revenue whenever we can. And the best way to grow revenue is to grow the traffic to the listings. Conversion rate is 3 times, 4 times, maybe even sometimes 5 times as hard to grow than it is to just simply throw more eyeballs onto the listing. So most people have more problems with traffic generation than they do with anything else. All right, so those are all the member questions in queue. I'm going to scroll all the way to the top here, and we'll go from oldest to newest here. To go down. So Lucas says, hello, Stephen. We're soon launching a new product. We wonder how can we best take advantage of Prime Day? Have a nice Friday. So I've been thinking about putting out a Prime Day video. My strategy is not that different than it has been in the last couple of years. COVID, however, does throw some wild cards at this question. And so I generally recommend that if you have any supply chain issues, to just sit this one out. It's not worth giving away your margin if you have a problem with getting your supply chain. If that container is going to cost you $23,000 to renew before your Q4 rush, it doesn't make a lot of sense to put that 20% coupon on to get that nice Prime Day bump. When all of your competitors are stocking out and raising their prices, you'll be able to take advantage of that going into Q4. This was very much the case for one of our clients. I got on a coaching call with them on December 2nd, told them to raise their prices significantly. They made an extra $100,000 in net profits in the month of December because everybody else was stocking out, and they simply rose their prices and had sat out any discounting methodologies during Prime Day, which was, I think it was in November or October last year. Forget off the top of my head. In any case, this year, Prime Day is going to be June 20th and June 21st. If you have excessive stock, you absolutely should run a Prime Day exclusive discount at 20% off. We do have a video on that. Just Google My Amazon Guy Prime Day exclusive discount. You should be able to see a full tutorial on how to set all that up. I might even be able to find the video on the fly here. Let's see if I can find that. So exclusive, if I can spell the word exclusive right here. I think I found it. So I'll post that in here. So Prime Day exclusive discounts, posting that video in there for you with a full tutorial. We also have a help file and some other information in there. So what I recommend you do for Prime Day this year is coast through it, run 200% more on ad spend during that Monday, and run a discount only if you have the stock to bear that hit. And that's the best thing you can do. Anthony Fu says, what's the difference between an FN SKU barcode that begins with XOO versus BOO? I noticed that product that have FN SKU printed on the package always starts with XOO. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure on this one, but this is a very easy question to figure out. So I'll see if I can go do some research on this one. I want to guess that it might be the bin. The bin can be shared on a BOO, but not on an XOO. Could be totally wrong on that, but I think XOO is the more desirable prefix. And I'm scrolling down to see kind of what mine look like. I have a mixed bag on my account. So some of mine do have the B0. So that's kind of interesting. But usually the B is attaching it to an ASIN and allows for shared inventory. And the XOO will be dedicated bin location. I believe that's the answer to that question. Which is better, a product that has high daily sales but low profit margins, or a product that has low daily sales but high profit margins? Honestly, no wrong answer to this question. Really depends on the category and what the growth trajectory is, right? So maybe a low sales volume item takes less effort to run, less touch points, less logistics, less headaches, less shipments, less campaign adjustments might be better for your profit margins overall, and maybe has some upside because it's a growing niche. But if you have an item that's obviously selling high SKU volume counts, high turnover, that's more attractive generally, and usually ranks for more keywords and has a lot of other benefits. Imi says, what is the optimal tacos, especially for electronics categories such as tablets and laptops? 11% is my default choice on this question. Really, it just depends on your goals, though. So if your goal is to get closer to 1 million in gross revenue sales, your tacos goal might be 20% or 30% because you're really just trying to grow your revenue. But if you're trying to look for sustainable growth, you're not trying to sell your business, you're not trying to go for growth over margin, and you're somewhere between a 4 or a 6 out of 10. If 1 was margin and 10 was growth, where are you on that scale? And if you're a 4 to 6, 11% is exactly where I would go for your tacos. JA says, that's exactly correct, Steve. The BO are commingled inventory. Yes, like when I guessed correct. Love it. All right, scrolling back up here. Let's see where we left off. I think this is it. Aaron, brand registry shows our registered brand, but not showing on brand registry portal. Anytime I get a brand registry question, I take a swig because, oh my gosh, it's the hardest thing to solve. I hate brand registry issues. Nobody enjoys them, but somebody's got to fix them. All right, we have A+ content and a brand store. Your old video on this usually says to contact brand registry support, but now that's impossible. All right, so this is usually related to an email association or a merchant token not associated to the correct email. So Aaron, first thing I would do is I would refile brand registry under your admin email address of Seller Central. If that does not work, or they already show your brand registry registered, they will reveal which email address it's associated to. And then you would want to log into that email, and you probably just have it under a different email address, which would be the easiest problem to solve. If it's not that issue, there's probably a bigger bug and it's just not showing or populating correctly. If you've ever changed the email address on the account, or maybe a secondary user filed the brand registry, maybe you had an agency file the brand registry for you and they put it under their email because they're D-bags and they didn't put it under your email, and then you're no longer working with them. By the way, everybody we ever deal with, we always give ownership 100% of every asset we work with. Brand registry, Seller Central account, you name it. I have dealt with so many horror stories where people are trying to fire their agency, but because the agency opened up the Seller Central account or owns brand registry, they couldn't exit that deal. And some of my most avid fans that have been with me for 3 years exited one of those deals and will never leave us because we give ownership to them on everything. So make sure you find a good partner when you're dealing with situations like that. Give that a whirl, Aaron. Report back. Let me know if that worked for you. 9197 says, when creating a new listing, is it best to keyword stuff the bullets or keep them simple and to the point? I've read that Amazon only indexes the first 1,000 characters. Not sure how true that is. So in general, bullets are supposed to be equivalent to about 1,000 characters. So that is kind of probably a true story. I would keyword stuff the heck out of them, especially on a new listing. Older listings, you want to be a little bit more cautious. But on new listings, the name of the game is keyword indexing. It's not conversion. Most of the conversion happens from the main image of a product. And my use case for this is our storyline with the Age of Sage product, right? So this particular item right here, I went through 7 different main images until I finally landed on this. And then my conversions went through the roof. And so keyword stuffing, absolutely the right move. Very, very helpful to have keywords that are all over the product descriptions, the A+ content, the alt text, everywhere you can get copy, stiff it in there. It will be very, very beneficial. There are many, many examples where copy is not critical, where you can get away with it, all kinds of different storylines. Everybody's experience will be unique depending on the variables they're experiencing. But keyword stuff when in doubt. First 30 days, highly recommend you focus on indexing for 1,000 keywords. It'll be very beneficial. Seller support is clueless. How to help. This was in a continuation of your question on the brand registry. Failed multiple times trying to connect the brand registry support. Your thoughts on how to correct this? Seller Central shows our registered brand, but not showing a brand registry portal. I still think my my answer on that one's accurate, Aaron, even with the additional info. Glenn says, I've had a second warning, invalid Canadian tax registration number. What's the worst thing that could happen if I ignore? Could it affect my US account? Probably will not affect your US account, but could get your Canada account suspended. And when you have a Canadian account suspended, your North American brand registry rights could be impacted. That's probably the number one problem. So definitely try and get that Canadian trademark number or registration number fixed if you can. Tunanan says, hi, Stephen. After getting listing export report, can I copy and paste it into Canada directly? Or is there things that need to change in the file to open the Canadian listing? So a couple of options you have. Number one, the template file is slightly different, but if you use a partial update, it should get the job done. It should go through. It should be fine. Number two, you could enable your international listing connections, and that would just port the info over so you don't even have to do any template work. The downside to that is if you want to limit your merchant fulfilled quantities so they don't show up in Canada, a little trickier to disable some of that. I dealt with that myself. Had a Canadian order come in for an FBM order that I lost money on because I, couldn't ship a beer glass. This was actually the item I shipped. It was a This Is the Way beer glass. This is one of my favorite designs I've ever done. I'll do a little close up there so you guys can see that. I'm definitely a Star Wars fan, geek nerd on the background here, and it's kind of fun to actually ship 24 of these to my office. I drink out of these now because this is the way. All right, so let's go to the next one. So we got Glenn here. The Wall Street Journal looked into fake Amazon reviews, reported the best-selling product in my category for fake reviews. The seller and product are still there. What chance for a competitor to complain? So just keep reporting them. That's the only thing you can do. Noisy wheel will get the oil, so to speak. Unfortunately, fake reviews are very, very common. It's a challenge. Really sorry that you're experiencing that, Glenn. Even if you file reports 30 times, you may not even see them take action. But if you file reports on both your seller account as well as a buyer account, your chances for success will drastically go up. Brady says, since Amazon mobile and desktop only show the first line and a half of a title unless you actually click on it, why not keyword stuff the hidden part? A lot of people do. In fact, Brady, that's why long titles exist. The first 5 words of a title, though, can set your canonical URL, which is what I've done here with Mom Gift Box Spa Set. So if you were to try and find my product in Google, let's see if I rank for this. I don't think I will, but let's see if I do. Let's see which one this one is. Yep, no, not me. So if you scroll down, I don't think my product shows up. But if we type in Age of Sage, probably will trigger it now. And here we are. See the canonical URL right there? Mom gift box spa set. This is what I'm trying to focus on for my canonical URL. When you load the actual URL, it shows up right there inside of the URL. So canonical URL can be beneficial for SEO purposes. So I do hyper focus the first 5 keywords whenever I possibly can. All right, let's scroll down. Let's see if we got any other member questions that have popped in. I'm going to focus on those ones and prioritize whenever I can. Mama says, I noticed that some keywords are not indexed when put in the description. When I move them back to search and fields, they've been indexed after 15 minutes. Any explanation? Amazon doesn't index as much, and they claim they don't even index at all the A+ content product descriptions. We know they do, but the search term field has way more of an impact on this. So it does make a lot more sense to focus on that search term field. I think that's the same question. All right, so let's go down. Amy says, do you recommend creating different manual campaigns for top important keywords? Yes. Branded helium-10 keywords and search term reports keywords. How many keywords should we add in a manual exact campaign? 1 to 5, generally. I think if you go over 5 keywords in an exact match manual campaign, you won't see the success you're looking for. They'll prioritize 2 or 3 of the keywords over the other ones. And that's generally why I recommend doing it that way. It's okay to have too many campaigns. It really is. It takes more work. It takes more sophistication, but the sheer volume of new advertising techniques that are coming out, the amount of display targeting methodologies, like you don't have to sign up for DSP anymore and spend 15 grand a month just on DSP. Every benefit from DSP is essentially now available inside of Seller Central. And so you got to be creating a lot of new campaigns. Now, sponsored products are lower in the marketing funnel, sponsored brands, and then sponsored display at the top there. And so the only exception to that is video. I think video is the most important thing people could do. So if you're looking for your 5-minute hack today, pull out your cell phone and take a 30-second video of your product and then turn it into a video ad. I'm telling you, that is some of the lowest ACoS I've experienced is video ads for my products. Can't make anything better or comparable to what I'm experiencing with video ads, even with low-key, low-effort video ads. Very, very, very important. Yes, even with a broad match, I think that an auto campaign is superior to a broad match campaign with too many keywords in it. Amazon won't find it relevant. Your impression counts won't be as good, and that's why. Ashen says, why is Amazon Vine taking so long? Well, it's because the program is just not working the way it did pre-COVID. And so long story short, it takes 35 days on average, but many times it takes much, much longer. Nothing you can do about that. Just don't count on Vine is my opinion. Thomas says, does your previous recommendation to not include product inserts asking for reviews also apply to the European market? It does. In fact, European legal hurdles are generally higher and much more problematic. Enver says, is the phone camera and scanner app okay for bank statements to be accepted? Yes. I thought Amazon needed 600 DPI scanning, but it seems they removed that rule. It's not the scanning quality that they're looking for. So generally speaking, so if you got a piece of paper here, right, and you scan this, if you do a scanner, but let's say you just cut off the end of this, they will not accept that for any document verification purposes. You need to see the exterior of every angle around that paper. And so make sure when you take the scan that you show an edge. Show the edge of everything around that paper. That is critical. This is true for a driver's license, passport, COAs, you name it, invoicing. Always show the edges of documents. Most important thing I can say. Anthony says, on average, is a search term that is in all departments searched more often than the same search term in that specific category? Yes. I don't have any data to back up that assertion, but I'm confident more often people do not look down the category trees or subcategories at all. All right, let's go down to Mohammed. So what do you think about the Brazil market? Honestly, it's not my cup of tea. I don't feel like I know it well. We're hyperly focused on the U.S. market because there's so much growth still in the U.S. market. It's hard to be a 10 out of 10 agency in every other market, let alone the fact that we're not even doing external traffic strategies at MAG because we have so much stuff going on. We feel like we need to be a 10 out of 10 inside of Seller Central and beat down all the competitors there. And then maybe you have to hire a second agency to run your Brazilian market or your other place, which is very common. Very, very common to have multiple agencies running different various things. All right. So I have no idea if Brazil will pay off. No idea at all. Kevin says, good morning, good afternoon to anybody on the eastern board of the U.S. as well, and good evening to our international folks joining us super late. Bargain says, hey, Steven. Junanan says, thank you. David says, question, another kid, why? Why? What were you thinking? I can't even handle one. Well, congrats. I'll be praying for you daily. Yeah, 4 kids under 5. Yeah, I know. Mic drop. And our hands are full. Comments astute for sure. We definitely, you know, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Very, very common for us Mormons to have many kids. We're very family-focused individuals, and I think it's, you know, where all happiness comes from is passing on your knowledge to somebody else. So if you don't have kids, go help another Amazon seller. Eddie says, I just spoke to your dad. Dan Pope, by the way. Great guy. I have another question. What's the best way to do in the current climate? Use 3PL and FBA or switch to FBM. Amazon's restock limits have messed me around a bit. It's a combination factor right now. So Dan, my father, does all of our sales management process at this point. We're scaling the agency, and so I'm ceding positions of my company more and more to other members of our organization and directors and managers. So I'm not really involved in the sales process these days, or in the operations side. I'm doing mostly marketing and systems improvements these days, which is a very difficult job, I might add. So we're making a lot of system upgrades and improvements and processes and changes and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say you need to have a 3PL warehouse hanging around, or your own warehouse long-term, because the supply chain is so wrecked. You know, your 3PL is going to hold you hostage. So will FBA. What do I mean by that? So let's say you got a shipment you want to get shipped out. You send your PO order over to your 3PL, and it's like taking 7 days. And you're like, WTF? My SLA says 2. And they're like, well, we just can't handle the volume. And then you get so mad, you start calling 10 other 3PLs. And guess what? None of them are taking on new clients because everybody is out of space. Everybody. Like, there's no room in logistics right now. Amazon is out of space. They are taking away your options and ability to get stuff into FBA, restock limitations. Despite having an IPI score that allows for unlimited storage, your restock limitations are still in place, which is super aggravating. Very, very problematic. Eddie says, good luck on the baby bee. Exciting times. Thank you very much. JA says, hi, Steve. My supplier has manufactured their own batch of my products, and they launched under their listing. We now both sell the same product. I have an accessory bundle with mine. Any advice? Yes, that partner probably is not going to be a long-term partner for you. They will cut you off at some point, most likely. They're trying to go direct to consumer. And now here's the thing. Whenever I see these situations, most manufacturers are terrible at marketing. Their sales rank sucks. They don't actually produce. They don't spend money on advertising. They don't get a lot of those things. So they may not actually be any threat to you personally. However, if they go to market and sell the same item for $10 less, you might be in trouble. So, you know, obviously the accessory or the kit thing, definitely a market setter for you to give you some additional advantages. But I've seen this happen repeatedly. A lot of manufacturers going direct to consumer. It's just problematic. This is also why I like to make stuff locally whenever possible, have established relationships, write an SLA with your manufacturers that prevents them from doing just this scenario. But the small guys out there probably don't have a lot of that ability to do that, unfortunately. All right, so scrolling down to see if we have. All right, so I don't think I'm missing any member questions. I'm trying to prioritize those. Let's go to Masami says, hi, Mr. Steve. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us today. 2 Live says, can you help me handling over a seller account for my former partner? Yes, we deal with these all the time. I've probably done this about 50 times. So the good news is that seller transfers are not as difficult anymore. Just make sure that you gain ownership of the main admin email address. Do not change the bank account until you have a deposit that goes through. If you try and change it 3 days before the deposit, Amazon will lock you out security-wise. A lot of things we can talk you through. Feel free to hire us for a coaching call to talk you through some of those scenarios. You can go over to My Amazon Guy, click on our coaching call button, and you can see our variable coaches that can talk about anything. So if you want to talk some high-level strategy stuff, really important stuff, talk to me. If you got some just tactics and problems or vendor central issues or listing problems, we got other coaches available as well. Vignac says, hello, my Amazon guy. My issue with my account blocked in Amazon Germany due to VAT certification. How do I reactivate it? Call up a VAT expert and get your VAT documents in order. And then within about 2 weeks, once you supply that VAT document to Germany Seller Central, it should go right through, no problem. Pets says, is there a software to check organic ranking that is reasonable? FYI, I've been using Advigator. Haven't heard of that one for PPC, and the results have been great and easy to use. So I am I'm a big proponent of Helium 10. I am an affiliate with them. I do have a 50% off month 1 for Helium 10. If you want to check them out, I highly recommend them. And I'll put that code in to just I think it's just use my Amazon guy 50 at checkouts. So we'll double check that here. Discounts. Play a little bit. Found it. And there's your 50% off month 1 Helium 10. So check that out. Mauricio says, all the best for mom and new baby. Thank you. Congrats. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to Ahmed. Hey, Steve, is the number of sessions on the business report, including both organic and PPC sessions? The number is a big difference. Example, 60 sessions, but PPC clicks 200. We've been seeing this problem repeatedly of late. Historically speaking, it's supposed to be both. But I think I've seen a dozen instances where it's not. We don't have an answer on this question. We've pressed seller support. Don't really get a lot of good info on this one right now. But if you guys also see this problem, feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you're seeing. I think it's affecting about, I'd say 10% of accounts I look at, the numbers are grossly different for one reason or another. So at this point in time, I think that the PPC data is not getting inputted into the business reports as much as it should be. Alan says, if I'm moving converting keywords from broad campaign to exact match, is it good to negate them at the broad or leave them because it's actually working? My advice, leave them because it's actually working, and have separate campaigns that have the exact match. We have tested this repeatedly and found that broad match campaigns sometimes outperform exact match campaigns. And that usually throws people off and they're like, well, why is that the case? And it's because people are bidding higher on exact match than they are in broad, and Amazon is rewarding broad match campaigns, which means it's probably better to leave them both on. JA says, I have a deposit coming up of about $100, but I would like to change my deposit method. Should I wait until Amazon pays you? Yes. Go ahead and do it 2 or 3 days until after the deposit. We'll save you a lot of heartache and challenges and problems. All right. Let's go down through the list. Going to the next one. So Dick says, looking to set up my Amazon account in a low tax jurisdiction, Isle of Man, Cyprus, Hong Kong, to sell in the UK market. Am I asking for trouble, or is this okay with Amazon? Totally fine. Never had a problem with it. Have multiple clients that have like overseas dealings. As long as you got a passport and get through the SIV process, it'll be just fine. Thomas says, in your opinion, is there a sweet spot for the number of variations you should have for fashion items, colors for t-shirts? Yes. I generally don't like going over 8 colors or variations. So you could have like 8 sizes and 8 colors. That'd be totally fine. But I usually don't recommend going over 8 options. I think the eye loses that opportunity right around 8. You can have 16 and still not have a drop down. But the moment you go to a drop down to select your color, I think you lose a ton of benefits. The other thing too is that most of the time, the fastest way to add sales to your bottom line is to launch new products, not a variation or a color variation addition. So generally speaking, running that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th color variation, not going to move the needle as much as just coming out with an entirely new product. Pomp says, I wish you to receive and have all that you desire in your material world. Well, thank you very much. Prosperity in all things. That's my personal motto. I don't think I read that out of a book. I think I came up with that one. Would love that to be on my tombstone. Prosperity in all things. Okay. Eddie says, I was out of stock for a while. My restock limits had been slashed. Ouch. Freaking sucks. Hate when Amazon does that. Should I switch to FBM or keep using FBA and try and increase sales velocity again, despite being limited? Re-units. So I would say, Eddie, do both. Ship in as much as you can to FBA. Get those limits up. You're going to thank me later when you're going into Q4, when you really, really have to have FBA. Plus, it's cheaper. Amazon's shipping fees are significantly cheaper, sometimes half as much as shipping it out of your own warehouse, especially if you got an item that's not, going, $3.50 to ship an item out. Like, just take this random item I have in my hand. So I've got like a bottle opener, right? And I threw my logo on it just for funsies. And so, you can ship that out for $3.50 outside of FBA, and it might cost you $5, $6, $7 to do it yourself. So do as much as you can through FBA, but definitely have the ability to FBM as much as you can. Anthony says, in your opinion, what's the best categories to sell on regarding ease to rank and ease to profit big? Thoughts on the office product category? So personally, I like the gift giving category. That's my number one favorite. You'll see almost all of my items are in gift giving. There's a lot of seasonality headaches with that involved, but I just really like it. I like making people feel good. It's, my wife's love language is gift giving. And so, those two things go hand in hand. And she's a little more supportive these days with some of our crazy product ideas when she gets to design the box. She got to design one of our recent ones. Let's see if I can find the box. It's pretty cool looking. Nope, not on my desk today. But I'll show you the products. So she helped design the Age of Sage front-facing box. Here we go. Let's see if I found it. So I was just looking on Google here. So this particular box, she helped me design the logo of it. Let's see if I can find a good shot. We are not showcasing this box enough. So that box is really, really thick. It's just really nice to have for a gift when you get it. Surprisingly expensive to have nice boxes and stuff like that. You'd be surprised. But all right, let's go to the next question. JA says, it's already 7 days since my launch. And for my top 5 keywords, I have one sale and an average CTR for these 5 top keywords around 2 or 3%. Is this normal? Should I think about changing images? Main image is the number one thing you should look at, JA. I would say run a PickFu test. If you haven't run a PickFu test on your main image, that would be the best $50 you will spend. And I highly, highly recommend it. So we are an affiliate of PickFu, and we're big fans of them. We do have a little bit of a, let's see, I think it's just PickFu / my Amazon guy. Yeah, 50% off your first pull if you use this link. And so I'm a big fan of running them. We run them all the time. You get some really cool insights, and main images are the number one thing you should run a PickFu test on. It'll get you some A/B data on what works and what doesn't. So if I log into PickFu, I can actually show you some of our A/B testing results that we've had, and you will find some of this interesting. So let's just look at one of our latest product image votes. Tons and tons of data here, right? So like option A with blue, which big wheel design do you like the best? Beating out these other ones here. So clearly getting some colors right without having to go to market with something like this could be really, really beneficial. And you can see all kinds of other design choices and polls. So let's look at some of our polls here. We've done title polls. We've done image polls, trying to figure out what works the best. So here's one. So which image would you more likely click on between these two? So option B, significant win by showcasing just a slight differentiation that, hey, there's a charging cord that comes with this, right? So these kinds of things can be very, very beneficial for your CTR and your PPC. All right, let's go to the next question here. Scrolling down, looking for what I haven't got to yet. All right, Pilar says, I have one of my first products with a horrible listing, but it's selling well. I think that if I optimize it, would do better, but I'm afraid it might go the other way. That can happen. So same thing we just went over. PickFu might be the safer way to test to see what would do better. Maybe change a main image, a title. But Pilar, if you don't have A+ content, definitely focus on that. Could not be a better thing to do than get A+ content up for sure. Happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. Turned 34 years old yesterday. When doing a brand experiment to A/B titles, does it affect the keyword ranking at all for your title changing all the time? We actually think it might help by showing additional conversions with the secondary B tested title. We think it actually might help you increase your keyword rankings, as well as some additional indexing and value. So A/B testing titles, very safe to do for your keyword rankings. All the data that we've done, it actually went up, not down, with testing. Now, everybody can have a different result. Maybe if you A/B test and like you have a 100-character title versus a 50-character title, that might actually hurt you for keywords because you're limiting the amount. But maybe your conversion rate goes up and it helps you out with those metrics the other way around. DJ says, have you noticed any changes with the PPC algorithm? Many of my top PPC keywords have been ranking poorly this past week. Upping bids really hasn't changed much. Not sure what to adjust. Yes, all of the algorithm updates we've been seeing, keywords, indexing, all kinds of challenges, definitely could be affecting PPC right now. Check your category IDs. Make sure that they are sensical, because if Amazon all of a sudden like shifted your product category and you don't even know because you haven't downloaded a category listings report because it doesn't show up in the more detailed section of your listing on the back end of Seller Central, and then all of a sudden you're not relevant as much to a keyword because Amazon shifted your product classification, yeah, it could totally screw you over. So run a health check, run through all of your product classifications, make sure they're in good order. Thanks, Jay. How do we get to switch to the XOO FNSKU from the BOO FNSKU? So I don't know the answer to that, but I think if you create a new shipment and write it in as an FNSKU label, that might be the answer. I think the BOO is when you use a UPC barcode. I think that's what it is. It's been a while. Body Comp, hi Steve, how are you, buddy? It's good to see you again. I think I've seen you on at least 10 of my live sessions. Thanks for being an avid fan. JA says, I'm not quite sure, Anthony. I was wondering the same. So yes, I think if you're using a UPC barcode, it's the B00, and that's why it's not an XOO code. Pillar says, the problem you mentioned yesterday about products not showing up in the all category, only in the specified category. Should I write Amazon? What do you recommend I should say or make clear myself? So the answer, which we covered at the very beginning of our podcast today, is to download category listings reports and then check the A column for the product classification and make sure it's matching what it should match for you. So if you scroll to the top of our comments today, or if you look at yesterday's video, I have it starred on there, that top comment with full instructions, tutorial, and video on how to do a category listings export, as well as what to look for and what to possibly change it to. Aaron says, the brands I sell are filing intellectual property complaints. I have $25,000 in inventory now sitting in FC transfer. At what point do they release that inventory for removal? It's been several weeks now. So supply chain's in a wreck. Amazon doesn't care about your situation. They deprioritize FC transfer. The only thing you can do is repeatedly ask them to release it from FC transfer. The other thing I would say is fight those intellectual property complaints as much as possible. Show proof, get letters, show invoices. This is unfortunately just the nature of the beast right now. Everybody's trying to get a piece of the pie. Everybody's trying to put food on the table, and everybody's fighting tooth and nail. So if you don't have direct ties to these brands and manufacturers and you're selling their products, maybe you should get into private label. That'd be my best advice. Make your own stuff. Cut out the middlemen. Ashcan says, why is Amazon Vine taking so long? I think we got that one already, actually. Jay says, if we apply for selling in topical category for one ASIN and we are approved to sell in that category, do we have to be able to list the other products as well to sell in that category? So translation on the question here, if you're selling supplements, you have to have a COA for every product these days. But so far in the beauty category, one COA clears the topicals category, and then you can sell in all of those other products without a problem. This could change at any point in time, but that's what it is at this point. Ashkan says, so what do you need to reviews when you're launching a product? In Germany, there are no early review program. Vine is only solution ? So honestly, just run lots of PPC. That is truly the best thing that you can do on a product launch. Just run massive amounts of PPC. Even if your conversion rate is lower without reviews, it is the best way to get your honeymoon period, your indexing up, your search terms up, and all of the benefits that come from running lots of that. Also, Amazon has nerfed, stymied, hurt, made it really difficult to generate product reviews. So it's better to go with the flow. Amazon loves for you to spend money on product ads, so just spend money on product ads. However, if you want to use an external traffic program, we just did a podcast with the CEO of Rebate Key yesterday, and it absolutely is possible. So definitely can run some review generation strategies today, but it's a lot harder than it's ever been. Richard says, could you use QR code on your product insert? Yes, but just don't ask for reviews. They will trace it. They will catch you. Any tips to what to do and what to avoid? Yeah, don't ask for reviews in product inserts. Just stay clear of it. Thank you for always helping sellers. You're very welcome, Richard. So product inserts, I would ask for like warranty registrations and, for more information about our brand and for guides and tutorials, but never ask for reviews is my best advice on this question right now. JA says, when uploading a bank statement, my statement's a PDF. Should I print it out, scan it? Yes, do exactly that. Show every edge of the product of the PDF, because when you just simply use the PDF directly out of the system, I've seen more problems with that. Printing it out and scanning it is the way to go. Barack says, can we add a video to a product description page if brand registered? Yes. So any video that goes at the top left next to your photos, and I will demonstrate one here. You can add a video right in the section right here. There's a second place you can load videos as well from a customer account. You can load it in this section down here in the videos for this product section. Just simply click on the upload your video button. Brand registry is not required for the customer video upload. Tom says, any idea if the new send to Amazon workflow will force FBA sellers into a single configuration per ASIN? So no way to send different case packs from different warehouses? No, I don't think so. You can also use the old workflow still. You can just convert back to the old UI, still works. You could also use a template upload to get around all of those problems. I don't think you're going to be locked in at all. It wouldn't make any sense. Ashcan says, oh, and I just wanted to know your opinion about what to do if some products that you sent to Amazon are missing. For example, you sent them 300 units, but they say you received 270. My refund guy, we funnel all of our missing product problems this way. We created this entire business just for this very scenario. Go check it out, myrefundguy.com. They'll chase those 30 units and get you paid as if they sold. Any luck with product targeting for video ads yet? Ours aren't getting any impressions. Nope, not really. But that could change at any point in time. I would say video is definitely where things are at right now. Keep focusing on video ads. Bob says, in handmade, many of our seller friends have been denied. What are the keys to getting approved? I've never been denied from handmade, so I actually don't know the answer to this one, Bob. If any of you know how to get approved for handmade and previously got denied, please do write a comment. Bob will come back and we'll look at this video, and it's always great to help other sellers in the community. Reg says, found a product variant on Alibaba that is not listed in Amazon. What's the best approach to launch it? So I would say just place a 200 unit order and just launch it like you would any other product and see what happens. The more product you have, the better you can run a higher PPC when you're first launching the product, and make sure you have A+ content. Use one of the brands that you've got a trademark for. All those classic product launching strategies all really matter quite a bit. Johnny says, hello, is it a good idea to have one keyword, let's say water bottle, as exact phrase and broad on a PPC Amazon? Yes. I would test it, run 3 different campaigns for the same keyword and see what does best. You will be surprised. Broad match will do better than exact match in many, many product scenarios. We've increasingly seen this is the case because more people are bidding higher on exact match and they're letting go of the broad match opportunities that are available. Mauricio says, any word or advice for anyone wanting to do bundle products? Yes. Put everything into one box yourself, ship it in a box to Amazon and sell it as a kit. If you try and do virtual bundles, you can't advertise sponsored products for virtual bundles. So kitting it yourself, best advice I can give you on that. And try and find a differentiator. Try and find an accessory that nobody else has got. Allows you to make your product look bigger and better. The Age of Sage product that we have with all the videos on this, so wrong screen there. Let's try that again. So here we go. So this particular product where we have all of these items inside of the kits, this is exactly the direction I recommend you go. Be big, be bold, very colorful, vibrant. The fact is we have a box with a lot of benefits that most people don't have, which makes it a big selling value add and proposition, which makes it better. I always use DTP shipping. Should I look for air freight? Is it cheaper? It could be right now. I don't think it is, but it could be. I would get quotes. Check it out. The freight costs right now are insane. $23,000 to ship a container out at the moment was the last quote I got. Alad said, for a food product, if you have different sizes, should you keep on the same listing? Yes, most likely. If you have $10,000 in monthly sales off a specific SKU, I would consider orphaning it from the parentage. Maybe have two parentages where you have your power SKU A leading the pack on parentage 1 and power SKU B leading the pack on parentage 2, and then put in the other sizes. But yes, generally speaking, food categories and parentages are usually beneficial. Reg says, need to optimize by product listings. Do I need to update each variation or just the parent? Typically each variation. But if you put in data into the parent and don't have data into the child, the parent will override the blank data on the child. But I recommend going the extra mile and optimizing at the child variation whenever possible. Scooter, thanks for being a member of our channel. If you want to join and be a member of My Amazon Guy, just go to youtube.com/myamazonguy, hit that join button. I'm using My Refund Guy, and I will email Gina. Thank you. Can you elaborate about your full service costs and what you guys take care of? Currently at $15K revenue a month, is it worth it? Will be a little cost prohibitive for you if you're only under $15,000 a month in revenue. Probably take all of your profits to do it, but the benefit of hiring us for full service, we will grow your sales. We don't have public pricing on what our full service entails, but we do release it after talking to you. All you got to do is schedule a button, click the contact us button, and you'll schedule a call with our sales manager, Dan. We'll look at your account and your scenario and walk you through what we think is the best fit for you. We do have very public services though, and we do have some a la carte options like an A+ content for $1,000. Which is highly engrossed with all the SEO benefits that are needed to make that A+ content design. Some really cool design examples on our page. You can see some of those examples here. One of my favorites is Chirp. These guys are crushing it on Amazon. Been a client 2 or 3 years now. You see all kinds of designs that we've done. But our full service does 2 things. Number 1, grows traffic. PPC and SEO are the fastest ways to grow traffic sales. Those are the 2 core services. Number 2, grow conversion rate, design, and catalog management. Catalog management, this is the area that no agency on our Mother Earth can touch my Amazon Guy on. I believe there are many great designers out there. I believe there are many great PPC agencies. But I believe that the secret sauce that we have at My Amazon Guy is our catalog management. A listing goes down, no problem. I have dedicated full-time members on Yanks. Need to build a parentage? I have a person on my staff where literally their full-time job is to build parentages out correctly and elegantly. We have members of our team that are so hyper dedicated and specialized on all things catalog management. That is why you should hire My Amazon Guy, because we will grow your sales and make sure you get all of these core areas taken care of. Your PPC, your SEO, your A+ content, your brand store, your listing optimization, and literally everything involved in growing sales, from listing errors and issues, case files, tickets, you name it, product review generation, competitor research, and much more. Don't want to make this any further of an advertisement, so Scuda, jump on a phone call. You can get a hold of my father's calendar. I'll post it right here in the chat. You can literally just book a call today. Might be able to get a hold of him. He does have some appointments still available. 2 appointments left for Friday. If you guys want to get a hold of my father, Dan, just click on that link today and book them, and we'll help you out. Ima says, our PPC campaign is doing well before the product went out of stock. After restocking, the PPC has now low impressions and sales, even though we didn't change bids. What should be done? So the number 1 thing is try and generate some sales on it. Check the category ID, make sure the keywords are relevant, create a new campaign, run some video ads, basically keep making micro adjustments. Once an item comes back into stock, frequently it regains a lot of its velocities very quickly. In instances where it doesn't, there's usually a bug, a prevention mechanism that is occurring that you need to troubleshoot. Make sure the category ID is not blank. Make sure that the BSR is not blank. If you are comfortable, you're always welcome to share an ASIN. I'll do an ASIN review live on our sessions as a group. If you want to schedule a private call and look at using a coaching session where we look behind the scenes, also happy to do that as well. But Ima, there's so many different variables that can cause this scenario. But when in doubt, sales, generate more sales. So if you can create sales by any means necessary, it will pick it up most likely. What's the best bidding strategy for broad, auto, and PAT campaigns? So generally speaking, it's really hard to give a one-size-fits-all strategy. But I often will bid middle of the pack and go for like sponsored product, slot number 3, slot sponsored product, slot number 4, instead of trying to go for slot number 1 or 2 and paying the premium, because the dollar will go farther. That's usually my default medium term strategy. But on specific keywords, you have all kinds of different strategies to use. You need to have really important high bidding on your top 1 or 2 keywords that you just need to just defend. I played basketball in high school, and so you would always just try and pull your arms out and defend the rebound, if you will, right, and push out all the competitors. And so on keywords like that, you got to fight to the death on. For other strategies, I always make sure I add negative keywords to my auto campaigns. Many people don't do that. It always drives me crazy, and I think it's lazy that people don't negate auto campaigns. But the reason why you negate auto campaigns is because there's a lot of keywords that get picked up. For example, if I'm selling a beer or a wine glass and somebody's searching for acrylic wine glass, or they're searching for unbreakable glass, there's no way they're going to buy my product. So negating keywords like unbreakable, acrylic, plastic make 100% of sense to negate from an auto campaign. Brady says, when does my internship start? Well, if you're interested in helping us out, or if you haven't got any Amazon experience, but you want to start somewhere, send your resume over to recruiting@myamazonguy.com, and we'll be happy to give you a look. If you're international, send an email to recruiting@myamazonguy. If you're domestic in the United States, send your resume to jobs@myamazonguy.com. Jay, I missed your question. Well, so sorry about that. Feel free to repost it here, and I'll get to it. Tana says, how do you get your social distancing glass ads back? I didn't. And I finally got an insider to finally tell me that it's the title of the product and they will never reinstate the ad. So no matter what I did over the course of 4 months, I could not get my ads reinstated on my social distancing wine glass. Now, the one silver lining, all of my competitors also got taken down finally. But still, man, that was a breadwinner product for me. I had it #1 ranked for the term wine glass. So very, very discouraging. It wasn't the word wine, it was the word drinking. So anytime you use the word drinking in a product, it's very likely going to be banned from ads. So Bartala with a wine joke, I think that's fine generally, unless it's about drinking. If you have a joke about drinking, they will eventually ban it. It is impossible to get it unbanned, Candace. I've never once got a product unbanned from advertising if it was related to this issue, unfortunately. It's just like hard stop, doesn't work. Devram says, hi, Stephen. Greetings from Turkey. We have several employees in Turkey, Devram. Very nice to make your acquaintance. Anthony says, is it better to bid high with a medium budget or bid medium with a high budget? I love these kinds of questions because there's no wrong answer. But in most cases, I would probably default to bid medium with a high budget because basically you're going to be able to get more bang for your buck if the product is solid. If there's so many variables that would lead me to make the opposite decision. If I'm selling $1,000 item, obviously I'm going to bid high with a medium budget. Very, very different scenarios there. Amy says, under what circumstances should we file for an ASIN refresh? When in doubt, if you are uncertain about a problem on your listing, always file a ticket and ask questions. I don't actually know what you officially mean by the term ASIN refresh. If you're asking, should you reset your honeymoon period? I almost never do it. I never, ever reset an ASIN in that regard. And that's when you would take all copy and nuke the listing off. Generally don't need to do that. Just getting sales, maybe relaunch the product, but I generally don't refresh an ASIN or nuke it. I'm losing my voice here, so I'm going to wrap up here pretty quick. Are you going to the Prosper Show in Las Vegas this July? I have no plans to do so at this point. I haven't left my house in 3 years. The agency has grown so fast. I haven't needed to network and press the flesh, but there's a lot of buzz about going to the Prosper Show. I do think it's a great show to be at, but I don't think I'll be there this year. I might need to launch my own conference. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because if I'm not the a speaker, the main keynote speaker, I may not have time to do it. That's where my head's at anyway. Do you get penalized by Amazon for running out of stock often? The product sells well. Yes, you will. Staying in stock is really important. It's harder this year than it's ever been with all the supply chain woes, but you definitely have a problem. Mohammed says, what to do to be sure to win the bid on a broad match? I have one word which describes 100% my product. Make sure that word is in the title, the bullets, the copy, the A+ content, the alt text, the search term field. bid very high on that keyword, and have a dedicated one keyword campaign for that broad match keyword. It's critical. That's the most important thing you can do. Scuda says, I already have inserts to ask for reviews in a neutral way. Should I remove that inventory and take the chance? I wouldn't remove inventory, but I would remove it on the next shipment. That's what I would do. Even if it's neutral, it could come back and bite you on that. Tandis, you saw my ad this morning. You might have seen my video ad, which I'm somehow sneaking underneath, but the sponsor product ad, it's still not up. I'll demonstrate that. Let's see, here we go. So if I type in social distancing wine glass, you will see my sponsored brand still allowed for whatever reason, but it doesn't make money, unfortunately. But you can see here, no sponsored ad for social distancing, unfortunately. You'll see I'm organically ranked #1 for it. I do have a video ad up, but eventually those will also get banned. So I'm not really holding my breath. I'm going to retire that ASIN. It's just not doable, unfortunately. Did Disney ruin Star Wars? Anthony, I think you've asked my favorite questions today. Yes, they did. They definitely ruined it. The director of Mandalorian, which is I'm a huge fan of, I think did a very great job. Huge fan of Mandalorian. Unfortunately, we won't see the season 3 for Mandalorian in this year. We will see the Bounty Hunter probably released in December, though. That'll be very cool. I read 50 Star Wars books when I was a kid in junior high. I was that nerd. I was like on the fringe of being too nerdy where I didn't have any friends, but I wasn't that nerdy of a kid where I still had like, a circle of 10 friends kind of thing. But yeah, in my free time, I read 50 Star Wars books. Very, very, very nerdy on that front. I think lightsabers are freaking amazing and cool. And, if I could cut through steel with a lightsaber or a laser sword, as they almost called them, I very much would. Me, thank you. You're very welcome as well. Happy belated Gemini, and congrats on the new baby. Very much thank you. Appreciate that, DK, as well. So I did not see the one question I missed. So I apologize for the person's question that I missed. Leave a comment on the video. I'll come back to it. That is our My Amazon Guy podcast today. If you liked today's show, please leave a comment. Best thing you can do to help me out, just even say thanks. And we very much appreciate everything you do. I may miss next Friday, but I will post a note one way or another. We go live every Friday, noon Eastern Standard Time, and answer any Amazon question. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. My name is Stephen Pope. If you want to check more about us, head over to myamazonguy.com and check us out. We're a full service agency, everything from PPC, SEO, design, catalog, and you guys are very much. We'll read a couple of these thank you questions and wrap up today. Tandis, thank you very much. Good to see you back and looking well. Congrats to you all. Anthony says, thank you. Jody, you rock. And Mohammed, thank you. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate everything you guys do to support the channel. And thanks for all the members that have joined us as well by hitting that join button. You guys all have a great weekend, and cheers to a great June as we end Q2 and look forward to Q4 coming up here in December. That is all. We'll see you guys later.